we're looking at the continuity of functions. So what we have here is, if f and g are two continuous functions, say at point C, then the algebra of them will also be continuous. It will make a lot of sense if you guys understand this. See, continuity has to do with application of limit at and around that point, right? Actually around a point, and at that point if they are equal to each other, all in all a step extra, and we have the continuity. We have been given that, you know what, you have this two to be true, and also f of c and g of c and all of that is also true. Okay, so all of that exist and they are continuous, and so the algebra is true is what they're telling. Let me give an example. I have two functions which are continuous by default. This you guys can agree. X square, it's continuous function. 2x plus 9, a continuous function. The resultant of this two, okay, the resultant of these two functions denoted by r of x, the resultant function, this can be simplified as x plus 3 the whole square. Even that will be a continuous function at any point. What I mean is this. Say I take the point 2. Okay. So don't observe the blue line. Observe the orange and the green line. So at 2, what is happening? The functions, these two lines are continuous. I can draw them across 2 and around 2 things are continuous. And even the resultant at 2 and around 2, it is continuous. Can you see that? So this is what it is. So we have, this is r of x, this is f of x, and this is g of x. Oh, this is f of x and this is g of x. So all of this put together, it is continuous. Okay, this two when added, the resultant is continuous. If I subtract them, even then it will be continuous. If I divide them, it will be continuous. And if I multiply them also, it will be continuous. Right? So this is the funda. If you guys understand the limits, then this will make a lot of sense. It's just an extension of that idea. Now, we have the proof in this manner. We have been given function f and g are continuous at C. Now, I'm going to apply the limit to the combination of this. See, as per the definition, this has to be the resultant of f of x plus g of x. That's the whole definition of O here, right? F plus g represents the resultant of that. Instead of calling it as r of x, they're calling it as f plus g. Okay, remember r of x is nothing but f plus g of x. Okay, this is as per our program. Now, this is by definition of f plus g. Agree? Again, remember, this is just a way of representing r of x. So as per that, r of x is the combination of these two. That's what we are telling. Now, with the help of our limit, we can apply the limit to each of this with the help of our algebra of limit. Okay, so we can apply the limit to both of them. If there were 3, we could have applied to 3 of them. This is g of x, right? Okay. Now, this is the algebra of limits. What does this mean? Since the functions are continuous at C, as the functions at C, right, what we can write is, we can write this as f of c plus g of c. And this implies that f plus g of c, this is again as per the definition, and this is equal to, actually, this is as per the definition of f plus g of x. Right? Does it make sense? And this is going to imply that f plus g of x is also continuous. At C. Okay, yes. Again, all we did was telling that the resultant can also be written back in the form of whatever the basic functions are. And then we apply the limits. And we know that since the functions are continuous at C, we can write this. This result is same as f plus g of C. Agree? It's like telling that x square plus 6x plus 9. If I apply say 1 square plus 6 into 1 plus 9, it will give us the same result as 1 plus 3, the whole square, that is 416. So we can see over here 1 plus 6 plus 9 is also 16. Again, apply a number, take a minute and pause and think over. So we have the following answer. Again, please don't just brush it up. Please don't neglect this. Don't take it as, okay, you know what, okay, it's there and we can do so. Don't just do that, because when you get complicated things in the future, if you don't understand this math, it's a simple math. If you don't understand this, that will be complicated. Everything is built on everything else, and these are the foundation. Please don't ignore this. Try it out, think it over, because it will make a lot of sense if you guys understand this properly.